How you doing? My name is Louis Riojas, but please, everybody calls me Tony. Very excited to speak with you today about the opportunity on becoming a dispatcher here for BNSF Railroads. As you can see from my resume, I have been both a conductor and a locomotive engineer for a little over 8 years now. And I think it's time for me to move forward in my career. And that is why I hope to be considered for the position of dispatcher at BNSF Railroads. I think I should be considered for the position for dispatching for a couple of reasons. One, I actually know the terrain of the route that we run, um, the hills, the sidings, the ups and downs, the twists and turns throughout the territory that we run here at the Fort Worth area, as well as with the experience in being in the field, actually physically being on the motors and physically seeing every, as you would say, nook and cranny of the railroad. And if came down to it to make that tough decision, or to make a decision at all, I think I can make that in a pretty much timely manner and be pretty confident about the decisions that I make when I'm out there in the either on the tracks in the field or being a dispatcher and speaking with the person at the other end of the radio, the engineer, and coming up with a plan for what we need to do. Well, to be honest with you, this will be a pretty big change. The change of conditions. I'm used to being outside, working in all types of weather, rain, snow, sleet, whatever it may be. It would actually be a pretty big change for me, but I think I could handle it. Um, Hopefully, by sitting in front of the computer, taking online courses to better myself. I'm hoping that will actually prepare me for the big shift in, I guess you would say, working conditions, being in front of a computer for hours at a time. Well, my bosses, how do I think they would describe me? Well, I would say reliable. Um, it's kind of hard to describe the type of work that we do, but since we don't have set schedule, a set day off, I don't work Monday through Friday, weekends off, a set schedule. We basically, it's up to us if we need a day off or not, for us to take off ourselves. So I would say that my they're called train masters. I believe the train masters would describe me as being reliable. I'm one of those guys who I never take off of work. I'm always working, which sometimes the wife kind of uh, doesn't approve it all the time, but it's actually I actually enjoy it. When you enjoy your job, I mean, do you really work? Um, as well as I believe they would describe me as being on time. Uh, Being prior military, we had a saying, 15 minutes prior to 15 minutes prior, which means you should never be late. So whatever your on duty time is, let's say it's 7 o'clock in the morning. Well, when you're on time, you're late. So I've always been in the good practice of, okay, show up 15 minutes early, but just in case, show up 15 minutes before. So that's a total of 30 minutes. It's just, I go by that what if factor. I mean, you never know what could happen out there on the road. So when I drive to work, I'll always leave me enough time to actually get there and then actually settle in and speak to the train masters on duty and see what's going on for the day before the actual shift starts. And I would actually say serviceable. A lot of times, since it is shift work, a lot of people, hey, stuff happens. They get sick, uh, accidents, a family member might be sick or something. So you have to pick up that slack. So I wouldn't say I was their go-to guy, but when stuff came up, they would say, hey, Tony, second shift is running late. Do you mind? Hey, can you help pull these cars out? Can you help over here? Switch something. Basically pick up the slack until they can find somebody to fulfill that shift. So yes, I would think, in a nutshell, they would just call me reliable, hardworking. That guy that they can ask, "Hey, can you help me out?" And of course, I'm gonna say yes. I want to thank you for meeting with me here today. I'm being considered for the position of dispatching. I really believe I would be an asset to the dispatching department, and together with myself and BNSF, we should grow into a better tomorrow. And if being considered for the position, if offered, I could be able to start as early as Monday morning. Once again, thank you for your time.